don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of time. I certainly don't have an hour plus to do my makeup, but I still want to look refreshed. I still want to look like I did something. And so that's what this video is going to be. So welcome to my channel. If you are returning, welcome back. Hey. And if you are new, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe and like for more content like this, and let's get into it. So the first thing that I do after I've cleansed, added vitamin C, all my serums, moisturizer, SPF. If you do not have an SPF, I highly recommend you start using that. I like to use a primer, and this is going to help it stick. I'm using the Milk Grip Primer, the Hydro Grip, and I'm going to do 2 pumps of this. I'm going to put it all over and let it get a little bit tacky. It's just going to help hold anything on my face, especially if I'm doing a very light application. I like to make sure I have some primer because it's going to help even the skin tone and give you more of a even texture, but it's going to help those products stick and last a lot longer too. Now it's hot in New York and it's sweaty, and that is another reason why I like to have a primer underneath, because it's going to hold everything. Because I don't know about you, but I hate when my makeup is dripping down my face from sweat. So I'm gonna let that sit, and while I let it sit, I'm gonna do my eyebrows. So there's a lot of amazing options out there for eyebrows. I personally got mine, I got an eyebrow transplant, so I have way less work, thank God. If you want to see the video of how that happened and any Q&A, I have a video that I made about it. But I can simply just brush them, add color, optional. But today I'm just going to smooth them and maybe add a little color once I see, but I'm not doing anything crazy. For my brows, I like to use, oh, and they also need a little trim, so I'm going to trim them and come back. Okay, so brows are trimmed and I moisten them with some water. For brows, I like to use Got2b glue. Yes, I know it's for hair, but that's what works for me. Ever since I got my brows transplanted, they're just really coarse, so I need something like heavy duty. All right, so I've already wet my brows. I'm just going to put a little in there to get them all lined. And I used about like a half a pea size. You can add more if you need. And I know a lot of people that say it doesn't work, but for me it works as long as you keep them wet underneath. They don't get flaky, or you don't get crust in your brows, right? So this is what I use. Now, if you're somebody that fills your brows every day like I used to be, or you need a little something extra, this is the time to do that. Whatever works for you, honey. This is what I'm doing. So I get them slick. Now I said this is really quick, and I do this every morning usually, and it takes me like 10 to 15 minutes tops, but it is obviously going to be a little bit longer because I'm walking through it and explaining what I do. And I also want to note that like every person has their individual things that they don't leave the house without, or that they want to emphasize, or that they want to conceal. And so those will take more or less time based on what you prefer. All right, so I went and put some eyebrow gel or hair gel. And so now I'm going to correct. And I like to use the Bobbi Brown, what's this thing called? Skin Correcting Stick. And the color is Dark Peach. So this is going to help me cover my dark circles. I like to also do it here because I got smile lines from years of laughter. And because I'm just a really smiley person, it's showing on my face. I'm trying to learn how to smize because it all shows right there. So I'm just going to smooth this out. And some days I even skip this step. Like if you don't have dark circles like I do, then you could probably just go with concealer or nothing at all. A lot of foundations will do the same with coverage. And so this step is optional. And I like to just bring it up. Instead of bringing it across, I like to bring it up and just start building that way because that helps to lift the face. So I'm doing it almost towards the brow. I'm just patting it in. If you are someone that has a lot of red spots, you want to try to consider doing a green tinted corrector stick, just because green cancels out red. And if you have like purplish, you want to go for something yellow or yellow undertone in the correction stick. If you have more bluish tones or marks on your face, which they're like veins and sometimes acne will like have some bluish undertones to it, an orangish base, an orangish undertone in your corrector stick is going to be ideal. It's all color theory. So for daytime, I don't like to do heavy anything as far as coverage even goes. I like to still look like I just have regular skin and not have a full face. Okay, I got cut off because my camera card was full, so I'm back. Anyway, I am color correcting. And again, the color theory is that red cancels green and vice versa. Yellow cancels purple and vice versa. Blue cancels orange and vice versa. So if you're trying to cover any markings or anything with those undertones, you want to use a correction stick that correlates with that color that cancels it. Okay, so I went ahead and corrected. And now I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm using the Makeup by Mario. I love everything he does. I am a fan. This is a Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer, and this is the color 420. And I'm just gonna use it under my eye, like so. And then I do a little on the edge, lifting up. Same on the other side. I need to get some more, it's running low. I use this like every day, so that would make sense. And I usually opt for like super sheer, not heavy. That's what I love about this concealer. And even his foundation is just like so light. It feels like nothing on the skin, which is what I usually go for. I don't like to feel like I have too much makeup on. It's so nice that I'm being left alone. My son is occupied, so let me not jinx it. But I'm gonna let that sit for a sec so that it can help set in and help cover as much as possible. So now I'm gonna go in with foundation while that concealer is setting and drying. And again, I'm using Makeup by Mario. I love this foundation. It's very sheer. This is a Surreal Skin foundation. I'm gonna use this brush by Sigma. It's the Kabuki brush. And it's a little dirty, but it is, the bristles are like short, compact, kind of dense. And it's got like an angle to it on both sides. Gets it nice and even. You could also use a beauty blender or any kind of sponge that you have. And I only use one pump because again, I like a very sheer look. Sometimes I'll even use just like a tinted moisturizer if I really want to be quick, something sheer, not a lot of coverage, you know. I'm just gonna pack in. And this is also a Sigma brush. This is a concealer blend Kabuki. I'm gonna leave the under eye concealer to set because that's where I need the most coverage. Okay, now I'm gonna go on with foundation, and again, I've only used one pump. I like to be minimal with this so it feels light. I'm just gonna spread it where I'm gonna apply, and then I'll pack it in once I have it spread out. Okay. And I like this technique of like patting it in more than like swiping, but it really just depends on you. I like minimal texture when I do my makeup and want it to be like skin. So this is helping to push it into that primer to give you that even texture and smoothness. And it helps to minimize like how much you disrupt the concealer, I think, too. Swiping kind of like rubs it away. So we're good to get that neck. Now that it's summer, I might have to start going to a darker foundation because I definitely have completely different skin color when it's hot. But I'm using this for a while. And I like to warm it up with powders that are darker in case it's not matching. And you can do that too. And with the foundation pick, you want to choose something that matches your neck and chest. I know right now in this video it doesn't look like it's matching, but once I set it with powders, I usually use like a bronzer or a powder that's darker to help it match. So I'm gonna do that. All right. I'm also gonna go over the eyes. And just for daytime, I feel like, you know, cutting the brow, that's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like it makes it look like you have more makeup on, but like to each their own. It's also personalized. This is just some inspiration. All right, now I'm gonna smooth the concealer And again, this is the Sigma Concealer Kabuki brush, and I'm pulling it up to kind of lift the face. And same with the other side. Up. And I'm just patting it in there. Because again, swiping for me, and in general, just kind of like moves the makeup away instead of kind of setting it where you place it. So next I'm going to set my lids with a little bit of loose powder. I'm using this brush. I just put some powder on it, but I'm using this brush and the Laura Mercier Warm Natural Sheer Finish Loose Powder. You can use this for obviously face, brows, what have you. Just setting that, packing it in, same thing. I'm bringing mine up to the brow. It's going to help set that concealer and minimize creasing, because especially in the summer, it's warm, the lids is sweating. Now, stretching your face actually keep your lids down? Not really. I'm gonna do a little bit of contour, and I'm using the Patrick Ta She's Chiseled is the color, and it's the cream contour and powder combo. I can't show you what it looks like because it's crushed. It's all crumbly. I've been saying I'm gonna fix it, but I haven't. I'm gonna just use a little bit of powder because I want it to be sheer, daytime appropriate. And I put it up almost where I put my blush because it kind of lifts the face. And if I want a really chiseled look, I'm gonna bring it down here. That's very light. Now it is harder to blend if you go straight from like cream foundation to powder, but tools help and just kind of blending it out. Because you can also just like put all your powder first and then do the contour. But I'm starting a little sheer, so it works out. See, I'm bringing that contour pretty high up. Okay. And if you want to do some chin, you can. Just make sure you bring it down. You want to do the forehead. If you want to do the nose, I'm going to skip that. Just like a little cheek, so it's very faint. Next, I'm going to put my favorite Easy Peasy blush. I'm just going to smooth with my finger so it's not stuck. This stuff sets really quickly, so I'm using my finger for now. Where's my blush brush? Pro tip, have your blush brush ready before you apply this because it dries and sets really fast. This is the Milk, the water, it's cooling water jelly tint. And this is the color Burst. Okay, I found my blush brush. I'm gonna do the other side. And I'm gonna just do 2 swipes, 2.5 swipes, and bring it up as high as possible. Because I'm gonna be setting my under eye with some powder, and that will help to smooth that line a little bit. A little bit on the nose. Next, I'm going to set under my eyes with the Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch. I love this. It's the pressed option. She also makes it in the loose, but I prefer press. It's just a little cleaner. And these little triangle sponges I got from Amazon. There was a pack of 6. I think it was like $8. Because they make them at Sephora. They sell them individually. And I used one and I was like obsessed. And then I could never find them at any Sephoras that I went to. So I was like, Amazon. Amazon always got me. So these work. And then I'm just going to set kind of like where I put in my laugh line. And I'm going to go back over with a little more blush so it doesn't just disappear. But I like to use that stain underneath at least so that it holds. For a little more blush, I'm going to do the Happily Ever After blush combo from Dose of Colors, the combo that Makeup Shayla did. And the stuff is really pigmented. So I'm just gonna dip it. Well, I dipped it once because it picks up a lot of color. And it is a powder, so it's gonna help lock in that cream that we already used. I like a lot of blush, as you can see. I'm using the Makeup by Maro Master Mattes palette, and I'm using kind of a flesh tone combo that matches my nude. And I'm just putting it in the lid. And this is more of a blending brush, but because it's blending brushes are usually a little bit more fluffy and the edges are more rounded. And those flat brushes are good for like packing in the color, and this is more for like spreading it. But right now I'm using this because this was closest. I didn't have to dig for this one. Okay. And then I took a little light color to just distinguish that line a little bit. And I think I am going to use a little bit of brow cream to darken my brows, just a smidge. Now that it's all dried, I can do that without moving the hairs around. So I'm just going to feather a little bit in the tail and in any areas that are sparse. And I'm using an angle brush. This is a double-sided. It's got a spoolie and it's got a lot of that hair stuff in there, but it has a spoolie on one end and then an angle brush on the other side. I use this a ton, but I'm just gonna feather it up like so. So not a huge difference, but just a little bit darker. And I'm using the e.l.f. Medium brown for the brows. Just filling in my brows a little bit. Feathering to imitate brow hair strokes. All right. Okay, next I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer to add some color, and I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the number 3 tan. And this is just to bring some color and warmth back to my face, because as you can see, my face is a little bit lighter than my neck, so I use a little powder until I get a foundation that's darker. And I'm just packing it in there all over, because it's not like a shimmery powder, it's just like a matte one, so it doesn't look weird when I put it all over. This is a bronzer that is supposed to look natural. I guess that's how bronzers used to be. They used to be like really shimmery and golden, but this is a bronzer that just adds warmth to the face. So I got it a little bit darker than my natural shade, and I use it to just match my face to my neck as shown. And I just put it in the, mostly in the perimeter. Lower face, neck, and forehead. I'm gonna add a little bit of the Fenty Beauty pressed powder around my nose because it's just shiny, because I am kind of oily. And this is the color 360. Just in my T-zone where I get a lot of oily bits. So next, I'm using a nude stick. This is a magnetic matte eye color. And I'm just gonna do a little in the corner and then like smooth it out. I don't want a harsh like black line today. I just want like a something that mimics the eye crease. And it's so creamy, you can do that. So I'm gonna feather it out a little bit. Okay, so I'm using this brush that came in a brow, or came in an eyeshadow palette. It's the Naked Urban Decay palette. But it's just a compact, it looks like almost like a lip brush. But I'm just using that to feather it out. And I need to get a real mirror for this. Just blending it out. All right, so I gave myself a little eye lift with that brown eyeliner. It's literally just almost like a shadow. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of that same pencil, which I just sharpened off camera, under the eyes. Just to give it a little dimension for the eyes. And then I'm gonna do mascara. You can do lashes if you like. I am a mascara girly. I do lashes for full face glam. This mascara that I'm using, which I need to re-up on, is the Dior or Gucci. Just black. What's the name of this? I can't see. I can't see. And I'm gonna put a little bit underneath too. I'm gonna use a mirror. I'll be back. I'm setting the midsection or the middle of my face with the Laura Mercier loose powder again, because again, I get really oily. Almost lastly, I'm gonna do lips. And on days that I'm in a rush, I really just, most of the time, just put lip gloss on. But today I'm gonna do some lip liner and the whole shebang. My go-to is the Dior lip oil for every day. Today I'm using the Makeup by Mario pencil in the color Dark Chocolate, and I really should sharpen it. Let me sharpen it. Does anybody else ever do that? You're like, I'm gonna put this somewhere so that I know where to find it when I'm looking for it, and then when you go looking for it, you forget where you put it. Happens to me all the time with my sharpeners. Anyway, let me get to the lips. Ugh. Lord. I guess I'm overlining today. This I'm not afraid to go too dark on because a lot of the lip color that I'm going to use is going to end up covering it. We like for lipstick and gloss. I want to use, either way, I'm using Dose of Colors today. Oh, this is a Dose of Colors Urfa. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. VHS is the color in the lipstick. This is like a 90s collection that they did. I'm not sure if they still have it, but it's beautiful and kind of natural-ish. Or nude, I'll say. You see what I meant about the lip liner? being covered. I'm gonna put the Makeup Shayla gloss in the center before I define that line again with the lip liner. I'm actually just gonna use the brush. Okay, did a little lip, and then I'm gonna set with the One Size setting spray. In case I get holds down with some water today. It's not moving. Okay, I think she is done. What do you guys think for my natural beat? Cute. Is it giving I woke up like this? And there you have it. This is my look for the day. A natural makeup routine for the girlies that like to look lightweight, especially for summertime. But thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed doing this with you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would be so happy if you subscribed. And let me know if you try this, what you did or didn't like in the comments, or if you have any questions about any of the products that I used, please feel free to let me know. And I will see you in the next one.